Good morning, dear students. Today we will begin with English Grammarite, and name of the lesson is Voice, chapter number 15. Take out page number 118. In that page you can see let's link it. Section A. Using the pictures as clues and looking at the sentences in column B, complete the sentences in column A. While looking at these pictures, we have to fill up column A by using column B. So, as you can see in the first picture, it is said the floor in column B, as you can read, the floor is cleaned by Sheena every other day. So, in column A you have to fill it up like Sheena cleans the floor every other day. There is a blank over here, you have to write cleans. The verb is cleans. Now, let us see in column B, section B, the boat is being rowed by the boy, as you can see in the second picture as well. So, the fill up you should fill here. Second, on column, question number 2 in column A, the boy is rowing the boat. Now, let us see the third picture. By looking at the third picture, you can see in column B, section C, a book is read by Jemima every day. So, in column A, you have to fill Jemima reads a book every day, and in the fourth picture, as you can notice, the sentence goes as football is played by my brother, and in column A, you have to fill my brother plays football. So, what did you notice, class? In columns A and B, as you can see the sentences, all these sentences describe the same activities. Okay. But the sentence formation, the sentence structure, or you can say the structure of the sentence are different. Let us know more about the difference between the column A and column B. And after that, after discussing the difference, we will come to know what is a voice and how can we use them in different sentences. Let us see, in section A, as you can notice, the subjects Sheena, the boy, Jemima, my brother. In these 4 sentences, they are the subject of these sentences respectively. And all these subjects, they are the doer of the action, means they are doing the main action in each sentence. So, they are known as the doer of the action, or in other words, if I say the person or the thing who is doing the main action, they are known as the subject of the particular sentence. And wherever you can find the subjects, they are active. Whenever you find the subject is active, so these verbs, like for example, Sheena cleans the floor every other day. So, in other words, if we say when the subject is the doer of the action or it is active in nature, so the verbs like cleans, rowing, reads and plays are in the active voice, where you can find the subject is the main doer or it is doing the main action. Whereas in column B, when you have noticed this, the subjects of these particular sentences are the floor, boat, book and football. Whereas where you have seen in the column A, Sheena, the boy, Jemima and my brother were the subjects of the sentences. So, in column B, the subjects of the sentences are floor, boat, book and football. And you can notice the subject here is receiving the action in each sentence. So, it is receiving, whereas when you have found in these particular sentences in column A, they were all doing the action. So, the subject were the doer, whereas in say column B, the subjects are receiving the action in each sentence. So, the subject is passive over here. So, the verbs in these particular sentences are in the passive voice. So, students, you should know what is a voice. Voice is that verb form which indicates whether the subject can be a person or an object of a sentence that does something or something has been done to the subject. So, that is known as voice. Or in other words, when I say voice is that form of a verb which shows whether the subject is the doer of the action denoted by the verb or not. So, students, there are two types of voice, active voice and passive voice. So, in a sentence, when the subject is the doer of the action, the verb is said to be in the active voice, means when the subject is doing the action, then the verb is said to be in an active voice, whereas when the subject is the receiver of the action, then the verb is said to be in the passive voice. The sentence must have objects. If there is no object, then there must be a question word who asks the object. The object of the active sentence becomes the subject of passive sentences. The word by is used before the subject in sentences in the passive voice. The third form of verb is always used as the main verb in sentences of passive voice for all tenses. The places of subject and object are interchanged, that is, the object shifts to the place of subject and the subject shifts to the place of the object in the passive voice. In the two sentences as given, I write a letter, where you can see the subject pattern S plus V plus O. I is the subject, write is the verb, and letter is the object of the particular sentence. Whereas, in the second set of sentence, a letter is written by me. The structure of the sentence is O plus V plus S, object plus verb plus subject. Here the subject is the receiver of the action. So, it is written as a letter is written by me. The subject is receiving the action and the subject is the receiver here. Remember, auxiliary verbs are used in passive voice according to the tenses. There are some fundamental rules for changing sentences in active voice to passive voice. We have to follow some rules to change from active voice to passive voice, like number 1, the subject in the active voice becomes the object coming after by in the passive voice. Number 2, the object in the active voice becomes the subject in the passive voice. Third point, the meaning of the sentence doesn't change when the voice is changed. A voice is said to describe, or voice is used to describe whether a verb is active or passive. The meaning of the sentence does not change. The time of action also does not change. The preposition by is used in the passive voice to indicate the doer of the action and to give complete meaning to the sentence. But in case the doer is unimportant in the active voice, we need not use the preposition by. Some examples given. You can see the two columns, two boxes, active voice and passive voice. As you can notice, there are some changes given. Like in first sentence, we keep our classroom tidy. When you change the pronoun we, it becomes our. So, whenever we are changing the pronouns from active pronoun to the passive pronoun, so we will change to our, but rest of the sentence, the meaning of the sentence remains the same, but the structure changes. We keep our classroom tidy. In passive voice, when you write, our classroom is kept tidy by us. You can notice our classroom has been changed to is kept, that is tidy by us. He is making a card in active voice. When you change this sentence, he is making a card, into the passive voice, it becomes a card is being made by him. I ate the cake, where the I pronoun is being changed like me. So, the sentence will be the cake was eaten by me. Remember, the third form of the verb is the past participle form. All those sentences, all those verbs that has been changed in the passive voice is the third form of the verb, which is the past participle form, like is being made, was eaten, will be sung, was looted. Like sentences given as she will arrange all the books. When you change in the passive voice, it becomes all the books will be arranged by her. They will sing a hymn. So when you change it into passive voice, it becomes a hymn will be sung by them. Robbers looted the bank yesterday. So the bank was looted yesterday by robbers. So students, these are the basic rules in changing the sentences from active to passive voice. In the next video, I will be sending the rules of tenses, how to change them from active to passive voice. Please go through the video. In the next video, I will give the details of the rules of how to conversion of tenses from active to passive voice.